Roger Goodell has been a controversial figure in the NFL because of all these fines that he gives out. If you don't wear the right socks, you don't have them the right length, you get fined. It's ridiculous. However, this could be one of the most ridiculous, at least that's my take. He received 10 letters from 10 members of Congress, one letter, 10 members of Congress, and he said, the Washington Redskins name has thus, from its origin, represented a positive meaning, distinct from any disparagement that could be viewed in some other context. For the team's millions of fans and customers who represent one of America's most ethnically and geographically diverse fan bases, the name is a unifying force that stands for strength, courage, pride, and respect. However, American Indians, he said, are not offended by the name. I'm summarizing that in the latter, that they're not offended by the name. However, there is United States Representative Betty McCollum who says this. Goodell has completely missed the point. Then we'll get to Nikki's take. It is time for the NFL to stop making excuses for itself and fully embrace its so-called commitment to diversity. Goodell's letter is another attempt to justify a racial slur on behalf of Dan Syder, who's a douche, and other NFL owners who appear to be only concerned with earning even larger profits, even if it means exploiting a racist stereotype of Native Americans. Would Roger Goodell, I bolded this, would Roger Goodell and Dan Syder actually travel to a Native American community and greet a group of tribal leaders by saying, hey, what's up, Redskin? I think not. Totally nailed it, Betty McCollum.
That was
totally
perfect.
Nailed it. Yeah.
I could not have said it better. Put it to the test. Like, will you really go there and look somebody in the face and say that to their face? No, you would never, ever, ever do something. Since you're removed from the situation, then you can have this opinion about it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
One Buffalo writer, I don't remember his name. By the way, Dan Syder, really quickly, will never change the name. It's that simple. Never. You can use caps. Fuck you, Dan Syder.
Yeah, and don't ever say never or always. You will always
lose.
That's the exception. Have to eat your words.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Now, look, the thing is, until there's a change in management, which is never going to happen because Dan Syder is going to be there forever.
It will require Congress.
It's going to take years. And like I understand that. A lot of people simply don't understand. And look, I am a white Jewish man, okay? I'm not much of a man, but I consider myself one. However, if there were to be like the Washington Jews, what? The Washington Jews?
No, it's so true. Like, use any other derogatory term with any other group of people, and you would be horrified.
Totally.
Why is this the exception?
Because people don't understand. And I mean, like, look, I'm not bashing my own people. I'm just saying, from an American and Caucasian perspective, they don't get it. They don't care to dig in. They don't care to research. They see it as, oh, it's Redskins. Why do we have to be so politically correct? No, if you look into it, they are deeply offended by it.
Deeply offended.
Look, I was immature in college. I think I've become more mature now that I'm out of college. I'm a little older. When the Illini did not do Chief Illiniwek anymore, and it simply just became the Illinois Fighting Illini. They kept the logo, but they didn't do any of the halftime rituals that they usually do during the halftime of football and basketball games. It crushed me because I was a huge Illini fan. But then, when I was shown a documentary and I was reading more about it, it's like, yeah, that was actually the right idea.
Yeah, well, that's good. It shows intellect and compassion to be able to sit there and see a story and go, okay, well, now I understand. And also, there's a precedent for this. The Washington Bullets were changed to the Washington Wizards in 1995 because their owner, Abe Pollin, found that the term bullets, indicated violence and wanted to change it. So it's like there is already a precedent set. Dan Syder is just digging his heels in, and I think Roger Goodell, I think he should not be taking this stance. And just because something has always been one way doesn't make it okay.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, okay, so should women still not be able to vote? Should black people still have to sit in the back of the bus?
So true.
Like, it doesn't, that's not an excuse. It's not an intellectual excuse.
The same thing happened, Nikki, when Jason Collins came out. Because I remember, and this is off of CBS Radio in Chicago, I once interned there, a phenomenal sports station. I interned for the news and the sports. But the sports, there's this segment called Who You Crappin'? And so someone was ripping Jason Collins for coming out how gays should not be allowed in basketball. And one person wrote in, and it's like, to all the hateful people who are putting out statements about Jason Collins, you are the same people who said that slaves are 3/5 of a man, and that women should never vote, and there should be no better doing for the society. And this is part of it. And if you're one of those people, then just please go away. We don't need you in society. Unfortunately, I feel like this is going to take so much longer.
It is. There's 425 out of 435 congressional votes.
Yeah, something like
there's
that,
only 10 votes essentially towards it. So it will take quite some time. I mean, I remember talking about this in my sociology class like 12 years ago. So, I mean, the fact that this name should be changed. So it's going to take some time, but I think it's worth fighting for.
Totally.
Yeah.
At least we hope so in the near future.